and welcome to Senegal. This is the first live that I've done from our place in Senegal, which is crazy. It has been such a trip being here for the past 2 weeks, and I'll talk more about that. Today we're talking about essential lessons learned in 2020. And so I would love to know, what are some of the biggest lessons that you have learned in 2020? It's just been, are you excited it's 2021? Like, 2020 was a year. It was a year of growth. It was a year of learning. It was a year of opportunity. And I believe that there was a lot of good that happened in 2020. There was a lot of not so good that happened in 2020. But I also know that the blessings and the good are there if we choose to see them. So I want you to think and reflect and look back at 2020 and think, what are some of the lessons that I learned? What are some of the blessings that happened? And when we start to really internalize those blessings and we focus on the good, oh my goodness, life gets so much better. So let's talk essential lessons learned in 2020. And I've got 6, but there's like a million. A million. I mean, in 2020, there was there was this little thing called coronavirus, an election. We had a baby, moved to Senegal. It's been a year. So let's start with the first lesson learned, income diversification. And this luckily was a lesson that I learned back in 2017 when I was in network marketing, and we had that was like our family's income was in network marketing. And when that company restructured, my income was cut in half. And I learned then what a lot of people learned this year is you must diversify your income, and you cannot have all of your eggs in one basket. And this is so important. So like this business, and it's something I learned from Tony Robbins at Business Mastery. Yes, you want to grow your business. Yes, you want to invest into your business, but you also want to take the money you're earning from your business and take it out of your business and invest it into other things. And so we're buying real estate here in Senegal. Like, we're starting businesses here, and we're diversifying. So we're not reliant on one stream of income. This is huge. Like, tomorrow is not promised. And even if you think your business is safe and secure, even if you think you have like a steady job, tomorrow, like, things could change so quickly. Tomorrow is not promised. And I think 2020 has really taught us that. And so I want you to think, what can you do to diversify your income, and do it now? You can't say, I'm going to do this next year. You can't wait for 2022. Like, oh my gosh, you know the lesson. You got to take massive action, and you got to do it now. Second lesson that I learned is grace. To give myself grace. I tend to be really hard on myself, and I have very high expectations of what I can create and of what is possible. And when I don't meet those expectations, or I'm not as disciplined, diligent as I could be, then I in the past got down on myself. And I learned this year to give myself grace. 2020, having a baby, not sleeping, when Gabrielle was sleeping 30 minutes at a time for the first couple months of her life, that was so hard. So exhausted, in tears, and like just giving myself grace of, it's not going to be perfect, and it's okay if this one thing is not exactly perfect right now, and I have to give myself grace. And it's been like an ongoing lesson, like moving to Senegal and being here. I've lived here before. Like, I lived here, this is where I met my husband. I moved here in 2010. I've lived in Africa, I lived in Kenya, I've been all over Africa. And I caught myself as we arrived in Dakar of like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, what did we do? And when I moved here, I was single, and now we have a business and we have a family. And tell me, can you hear the construction that's happening in the background? I am literally, I bought a desk. My husband and I bought a desk that it's in our bedroom, and if you're watching me live, you're seeing the wall. And so I have my computer propped up on a set of books with my ring light, and I'm sitting on a pillow, so I'm not as high. And it's like there's so much happening, and my entire life literally got thrown like upside down. Like every habit that I had, I'm starting over. Like all the nutrition and everything that I had set in place, I'm like, I can't find an avocado here or coconut oil. I found a jar of peanut butter in my suitcase and I literally started to cry. I was so excited to see it. It's like all those things, and just understanding that I have to give myself that grace to go through this transition, and having just the faith in knowing that it's all going to work out. And I think I put pressure on myself to feel a certain way, or like, why are you feeling this way? I'm like, no, like it's fine. Just give yourself grace and you're going to get through it and it's going to be fine. And yes, so grace is a big one. So I want you to think about, where in your life are you being really, really, really hard on yourself and you're not giving yourself that grace? And just journal on this stuff. Like this is some deeper stuff that I want you just to take some time and just journal. Like, where do I need to really give myself some grace? And just think about that. The next lesson I learned is life is now. Life is short, and we could always say, I'm going to do this next year. I'm going to do this in whenever, later. And I think 2020 has taught us all that you gotta take action, you gotta take it now, because tomorrow is not promised. And so my husband and I have been talking about going to Senegal and being here for a long time. Like that was actually our original plan back in 2010, was to go to America, I would get my master's, then we'd go to Senegal. And it was like, we got totally distracted with all these other things and it didn't happen that way. And I'm so grateful because we had those, I think, some really important lessons of me starting a business and understanding entrepreneurship and all these things that made us stronger for when we're here. Because I couldn't imagine going through this and not having the personal development that I have in my head right now. Oh my gosh. And so life is now. And so it was literally, it was the beginning of December, we made this decision, like, we're gonna go and we're gonna just do this. And it was, we bought a one-way ticket and we're here. And it was like, do we have everything planned out? Is everything gonna be perfect? Nope. Nope. But here's the thing, you can't just wait for every single circumstance in your life to be perfect before you take action, before you make that investment, before you make that decision. You gotta understand life is now and tomorrow is not promised. And when we were making this decision, it was hard. Like this was a really, really, really hard decision to make. Especially, like, it's easier when you're single by yourself, but when it's like with your whole family and a lot of unknowns and everything. And I just remember thinking to myself, I'm like, when I'm 85 and I'm looking back at my life, I don't want to have regrets. I don't want to think I should have done this or why didn't I do that. I want to think I lived life to the absolute fullest and I went for the thing. Even if it was hard, even if it was scary, I did it. So life is now. Fourth lesson is responsibility and being responsible for everything. And being responsible for the good, being responsible for the bad, and understanding that I have way more power and control over things than I really give myself credit for. And so I want you to think, where in your life are you not being responsible? Where are you blaming other people? Where are you, if you hire a coach, let's say, here's a good example. You hire a coach, you join a mastermind, you do whatever that looks like, and you don't see the immediate results that you want. Are you going to blame that coach, or are you going to look at yourself and be responsible for that and say, like, how am I responsible for this? How did I create this situation? How can I show up differently so that I do get better results? And so how are you either being or not being responsible? How are you blaming and staying in victim mode? Ooh, fifth lesson that I have learned is expanding my plate. 2020 was the year of me learning how to expand my plate. So having a 7-year-old doing virtual school, having a baby, having a business that we've hired, I need to count how many people we have on our team now. It's crazy. It's just been wild. And going through the leadership program that I went through, that was like a part-time job, adding that to my plate. It was a lot. And what I learned is that I can expand my plate and I can create more opportunities than I thought was possible. And so I learned how to instead of saying, I'm not going to take that call, or, create those like boundaries or whatever that might look like, I thought, hey, I'm going to go for a walk with Gabrielle anyways. I might as well do a phone call while I'm doing this. Or I was just able to add more to my calendar and do more than I really thought was possible, and have the family life and have that balance that I really wanted. So expanding my plate, totally possible. And it's pretty cool what I learned I could create with the amount of time that I have devoted to my business. And the last lesson that I learned, I'm so grateful for this one, is asking for support. 2020 was the year we hired a babysitter. The first time we ever hired a babysitter. I don't know what stopped us, or what, I don't know, fear, maybe, control, being controlling, I don't know. But we hired a babysitter for the very first time, and Alphonse and I, like, we've had, my mother-in-law lived with us for a little bit when TJ was a baby, so we had like that kind of support. But when we were in France, it was just me and my husband, so we didn't get that like quality alone time because we didn't have a babysitter. So asking for support there, asking for support with my business, getting someone to help with cleaning the house. Even yesterday, I was having one of those, like, I guess, like, overwhelmed and stressed out, and like just the realities of a lot of the hard things that come with living here. And I just went to my husband, I was like, I think I need to get out of the house. I think I need to get some quality alone time, because I haven't had that since we've been here, really. So I went to this beautiful place on the beach, Marina Bay, and had some quality alone time. And let's add a bonus one. And I actually learned this in 2021 because this happened yesterday. But I'm going to add it because it was profound for me. Is I can do really, really hard and scary things, and I need to make sure I'm consistently putting myself in that environment of growth, of hard and scary things. And so in my business, things don't really scare me anymore, because I've been doing this for like 10 years. And so like doing a webinar, doing anything, like, it's, for me, it's no big deal. So I'm always thinking of like, how can I challenge myself? How can I stretch myself? How can I do the thing? And in business, it's typically like, it's hard for me to find that thing. Here in Senegal, I found something that I was resisting that would help me grow, which was driving here. And next time I'm in the car and I'm not driving, I'm going to take a video and I'll post it so you can see. I'll post it on Instagram or Facebook. The traffic here is wild. Like, so we're in a city called Dakar. 80% of the population of Senegal is here, which is, Dakar is 0.6% of the country's land. So it's crowded, and there are cars, there are taxis, there are people everywhere, there are scooters, there are chariots, like horses with chariots, there are quads on the highway, there are no traffic rules, no signs, no nothing, there are potholes everywhere, it's sandy, it is wild. And Alphonse was like, just take the car. And I looked at him, I was like, I can't take the car, I can't drive here. And there's like, yes you can. And I'm like, yes I can. So I got in the car and I drove and I went to that place, Marina Bay. And as I was driving, I was like, I can do this. And when I got there, I felt like the biggest badass. I was like, I did it. I did that thing. I did that thing that scared me. And I drove back. I was so proud of myself. And so I want you to think about, what's that thing? It could be in your business, it could be something else. You don't necessarily have to move to Africa and drive a car, but I want you to find that thing that is scaring you, that thing that you're resisting, that will unlock that next opportunity of growth. And so those are some of the lessons that I learned in 2020 and the beginning of 2021. And I want you to think, what are some of the lessons that you learned? If you didn't take that time to reflect, do it. Just take like an hour and just journal out, like, what did I learn? Where did I grow? What can I do better in 2021? And so coming up in about a week, we're going to be hosting the Infinite Growth Challenge. We haven't done this in over a year, and it is a 5-day challenge where we're diving so much deeper into these topics of personal growth that's going to help you grow beyond your wildest dreams in 2021. And so it's a 5-day challenge, totally free. All you have to do to register is go to joingrowthchallenge.com. I've had some of our Activate students, they actually went through this a few times. I asked them today, I was like, how many of you have gone through like the Infant Growth Challenge more than once? And some of them raised their hand, like, yep, I did it twice. It is everything that I've learned over the past decade of personal growth, of having a business. And I condense as much as possible into those 5 days to help you have those massive breakthroughs. So again, go to joingrowthchallenge.com, invite a friend. Like, don't be selfish and stingy here and just do it yourself. If you have a friend that's in business and you're like, they need this too, they need to grow and have that infinite growth mindset, invite them, send them the link. And I would love to hear from you. What are some of the biggest takeaways that you're having as I'm talking? Just send me, comment or send me a message on Instagram at She's Making an Impact, and have an amazing day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.